press that one right now. I think going live. Okay. Yes. Hello, everybody. I think now you're live finally. I was thinking that we are sharp at 8, but I did not press one button. It's okay, my bad. But greetings. I'm pleased to be your host for the last meetup of the year 2021. Yeah, it was there a lot happened this year. I was already preparing a list while I was chatting with Matthias and Joreg, who you will later hear more from them, that who they are, what they are doing, and what they have been up to. And I'm going to read you a list of things that happened in the vvvv world. That's actually a long list, but I would just basically, before starting it, I would just wait a little bit, because the others should join the Zoom call and also the live stream, which reminds me of the fact that I need to put the link of the Zoom call and the live stream on our. Joreg, would you do that? Like putting the link? Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Let me do it.
Yeah, so I can go on. In the meantime, if you want to join the call and share basically either your work or share your thoughts, or just basically vibing around on the Zoom call, just feel free to write your name plus vvvv, and then we can here approve you to join the call. And if you just want to watch the live stream, we are right now on the vvvv TV channel on YouTube. Okay, maybe I would just start very quick to tell you what happened in the last year. I was going through the blog post on vvvv.org, reading like exactly from the first blog post of the year in January 2021 to know actually what happened. What was this? And it was very nice to just go backwards through this all whatever happened there. Just like I start right away. In January 2021, we had the was that the second stable release, if I'm not mistaken? That was the second stable release, and then we had the first release candidate. I mean, when I say we, I mean developers. On behalf of the developers, I'm talking right now. We had the first release candidate that it was including a Strike game engine. Am I right? I think, yeah. Hello, Toby.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, I need to admit that it's a bit of, like it's a bit of back and forth I have here, because I need to like let people in, and I need to handle all of these things, which is fun. I will get used to it in a few minutes, but in the beginning I might have a bit of hiccup. Anyway, so we had the first release candidate for the Stride. In the meantime, all the workshops at Node 20, everything that was basically happening during Node 20, all this workshop was collected thanks to the Node Institute, and it was online for public, so everybody could use them basically for free. I would appreciate when you join the call to mute yourself. That would be fantastic. Yeah, so the Node Institute put all these workshops online, and then we had at the same time we saw that there are some working groups appearing in the community, working on different projects or doing their own R&D, such as like we had OpenCV. I don't know if I should do like a really brief one-line explanation for those who are not familiar with these topics, because sometimes I think that whatever we are talking about, we are basically talking to ourselves in the community. I heard a lot of this criticism, but therefore right now I go like OpenCV. We know it's like a computer vision. It's an open source computer vision library that now VL basically also has a Nugget wrapper for that. So just you have vl.opencv and you can have access to all the functionality there. In other working group, we had vl.ml machine learning in vvvv. Sebescudie, we will see him later. We had the working group of Fuse. It's basically real-time graphics, particle systems, everything shiny that you might imagine or seeing these days. That basically the hashtag is specifically like made with Fuse, made with vvvv. We call it Fuse. We will talk about it a bit later. We had Elementa by Dottore. Elementa is basically a library for UI that we have in V4 out of the box. We heard for the first time, actually we saw for the first time, Kairos is another project by Nathan. It's basically a timeline for any data type, like think of timeline, but the most generic timeline that you can imagine. We had that as a nugget for the first time. Motzi contributed the 2D curve editing utilities, if I may say. And we had the open weather by Sebescudie. Like we have a lot of fun things from Sebescudie, by the way. Who quoted? I think Sebastian Gregor said that we need to make something called Sebescudie tools or something, or Sebescudie goodies or whatever, because he's doing a lot of funny stuff. We have open weather. He will, by the way, Sebescudie show us something really, really cool later today. We had RCP for the first time. RCP, Joreg is here, maybe. Yeah, we had it in one meetup. RCP is Rabbit Control Protocol, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like an over internet, you can send and receive data. We had for the first time, we were seeing in vvvv gamma, devices such as RealSense, depth cameras, and everything related to RealSense. We had the socket IO. And as the time goes by, we hear more and more from Fuse Lab, which we will get back into a bit later. At the same time, we have video tutorials. Joreg gives the first video tutorial how to create a 3D scene using a stride. And also Nakata and the other people, they are sharing their basically learning vlog or learning blog, how they work with before. And then we have also a lot of workshops happening at the same time by Node Institute. For example, Anton with shiny generative graphics. We had the Kairos. Again, Nathan gave a workshop with basically an intro how his timeline is working. We had the machine learning for interaction designers. And of course, we had the introduction for Fuse, that basically the intro and the release party, if I may say. And then we had some community workshops of Fuse, that how these things work. And then again, we are receiving updates and getting more packages. We have Runway ML running in V4. We have Vecinator, basically it's a tool using machine learning solutions for given problems. We have IO Firmata for controlling Arduino and other microcontrollers. We have CEF, basically the Chromium, what is CEF stand for? Chromium thing that, you know, maybe what I'm talking about. We have the VL Media Foundation. We have VLM2 QTT. We have Hap Player. We have OpenAI by Sebel. We have PLY, basically an importer for PLY files for the point cloud. We have NDI, which just now I learned that is basically texture sharing, not only on graphics, but over the internet. And then as time goes on, in July, we hear the first, or basically we see the first release party of Fuse, right? And then at the same time, when we have the vl.fuse, basically you can just open your V4 in July, go into the quad menu, manage nuggets, command line, nugget install vl.fuse, bada boom. And then you have access to all these particle systems and everything that you have there. At the same time, we have TextImp, we have the Fresnel, and and the release of, I think we have the release of 4, right? After that, what's the big thing after Fuse? Joreg, help me. You're muted.
For what?
What's the biggest step after Fuse? We had the release of 4, I guess.
Which was just like 2 weeks ago, no?
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but if I'm not wrong, there's a funny thing. Like, for example, I think how many RCP we had for the 4? Was there like 6 release candidates? 5 release candidates? That was. Anyways, cool. I do recommend you. I had a lot of fun. I do recommend you go to the blog, vv.org, and then go and read the blog post for the last year. And there are a lot of things happen. I may forget, and I'm very sorry if somebody was not mentioned. We will get back to it later. But anyways, at the same time, right now I see we have a lot of We see a lot of people already joining. Hello, Seb. Hello, Randall. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Dominic. Hello, Matthias. Joreg, I already said hello to you. Gegenlicht, hi. And Seb, I think it's Sebescudie or Sebel. I'll see you in a bit. And okay, I would say right now, I need to come down a little bit. That was a rush of going through all of this, took exactly 11 minutes. I would like to ask, okay, I need to let somebody else in. Thank you very much. Very good. So it took a bit of back and forth for this very meetup. I need to thank Node Institute for lending us their infrastructure. I stole this sentence from Randall. I need to thank developers and all the other contributors for making all this possible, that we are all together and we are having a very nice wrap up for the year 2021. Many things has happened, as I said, many things has happened that we are going to have some insight in them right now. So I would just simply start from those people who are here right now. If they want to share something, and what are they going to share? Like maybe a few sentences. I make a tiny little bit of calculation here, and then we go through the night with what you brought to us. Let's just start from top right, from my screen layout. Matthias, who are you? Where are you? If you want to say and tell us what do you want to show, very quick.
Okay, hi. My name is Matthias, and I'm an industrial design student from Linz. Right now I'm in Vienna, and I would present a 3D solar system that I made the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Matthias. I'm very happy to see you here. I'm very happy that you accepted to join and show us this fancy. So spoiler, I've seen the solar system and I'm so excited to see it again. Thank you very much, Matthias. Next one, Joreg, can I put you last? I put you last. I go to Randall. Hello, Randall. How are you doing? Where are you? Where have you been, my friend?
Hello. Good to see you as always. Such good energy, surrounded by such beautiful people. I've been all around working, installing V4 stuff around, but currently I'm in London, enjoying the comfort of home and the cold outside. I want to show a few tools, monitoring and logging tools, but I'm trying to find the example on my messy hard drive. So if you could push me towards the end to give me some time to figure it out, I would greatly appreciate it.
Will do, my friend. I'm also happy to see you after a while. I'll get back to you. Dominic, are you going to show us something?
I don't think so. I mean, past vvvv projects, I think in the past couple of months, all I did was like a multi-track visualizer. We used it in one of like music live coding workshops, but yeah, I've been using vvv most as a supporting tool, like every now and then for smaller things. So no, but I'll be glad to watch everyone.
Yeah, of course, as always, I would be very happy to have you vibing around and like warming up our conversations as always. Rosie, are you going to show us something? What have you been up to these days?
No, I won't show something, but I want to be more in the group again because I will teach vvv next year. And so it's a general a good idea to be here, I guess. And in case you want to know where, it's called tumo.org. It's an organization for teenagers in Armenia, and they have it in their school system to learn something like vvv.
That's amazing.
I will go to 4 different cities and go to high school students and teach them vvv as part of their regular school. And yeah, so send tips my way to make the course there worthwhile for them. I mean, it will be anyways, but you know what I mean.
Rosie, can I ask, you also did a course just recently, right? Some in Vienna.
Yeah, at the Feminist Tech Space called Miss Marcus's Lab. Unfortunately, it was announced it didn't happen because lockdown in Austria.
Oh,
so we're trying to find a new date.
But couldn't you do it online or something?
It was exactly the 2 days after the lockdown started, so we did online. It just was too much mess. But the Hackspace itself, Miss Balthasar's, is super cool. They always have exhibitions in digital arts, only women, and teaching each other cool atmosphere as well. So I was happy that I could contribute there.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
maybe you can drop us some links if there are like links to the website or the community and everything. That would be fantastic. Good. Good to have you here. Please vibe around and make some conversations going on. Brian, are you going to show us something? You should say yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I participated in this Nodevember thingy on Twitter and Instagram, and I think it's just every other day there's a new topic, so 15 topics for the month. And yeah, so I created all of my posts in vvvv and Fuse. So I'll just show you some patches basically.
Fantastic. I would also like to see your Animal Crossing shader.
Cool.
If
Okay.
it's part of it, I would like to see that as well. Kat, how's it going? How are you doing? Been a while.
Yeah, not too bad. I've got nothing to show, I'm afraid. I've done 2 projects, however, in Gamma recently, but I can't show them yet. So yeah, I've got nothing I can actually show. But yeah, it's been interesting getting my teeth into it finally.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic to have you here, and it's awesome to see you, and I'm very, very happy that you guys are joining this conversation. Sebescudie, how's it going, man?
Good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
I do.
Cool. I'm good, thanks. Sorry, I was trying to compile a patch here for a potential demo, but it's missing dependencies and whatnot. So yeah, I might show something, a plugin that I'm writing these days to control Spotify from V4, basically.
Sounds cool. That is really, really cool. Okay, so
boo hiss.
yeah, okay, that is really cool. So in the meantime, I would say before we start anything, okay, hello Kyle McLean, that is awesome. You are awesome. Johannes Schmid, hello folks, hello there. Hi, greetings from Barcelona, hello there. Vadim, hello everybody. Okay, I see that people are getting there. Like, yeah, Elias, how's it going? Good evening. Elias, join the call if you have. You should join the call, I guess, in general. We are missing you. You should show yourself. And everybody else, if you want to join the chat, I mentioned that once more. I think Joreg dropped that to the blog post, if I'm not mistaken. Write your name plus vvvv so we know who you are, so we can let you in. And if you are basically just want to be around and watch the stream, just go ahead and watch the stream as well. Grab some I don't know, like popcorns and snacks and everything, and just watch the stream. Speaking about food, by the way, as you may notice, vvvv has a burger menu, and the burger menu is not the only new thing that you might see in the UI. There are some other goodies as well, for which I would give you the man himself, Joreg, who is going to tell us what's up. You're muted. Joreg?
Sometimes
yes.
Sometimes the buttons move around where the mute thing is. So I'm waiting for the horn to go by. If you don't, so I hope you can hear me fine now. I'm here to show you one of the new things that we have introduced in the latest vvvv Gamma. Apart from the lovely hamburger, as Amir mentioned already, so everyone has seen that, I guess. It's a real eye catcher up here. But I want to show you another thing that's a bit more hidden. It's called extensions. You find it in the quad menu, and if you go to extensions here, then you see there are a few entries. This key and mouse display, that's something that we had before. So that's just something you can enable, that it would show all the keyboard shortcuts that you're pressing good for recording tutorials or when you're doing a live workshop. So I can just go here and turn this on and off. But now the key and mouse display is just one of any number of extensions that we have. You can go to find on Nugget.org to have a pre-filtered search here. Right now there are 3 more extensions that you can install, and I will show you the 3 of them quickly to give you an idea of what such extensions could be, and in the end we'll show how you can create your own extensions. So extensions are managed as normal nuggets. We go to the command line and we say NuGet install vl pipette hde is the first one. It installs, it takes a while, is now installed, and if everything went well, then it should appear here. Sometimes it takes a while to be picked up. Yeah, so now here is the pipette. You see it comes with a shortcut also. So I can click it here or choose the shortcut, press the shortcut, Alt P it is. And then in this case, like just a very simple idea, a little tool as extension to the editor that allows us to select colors from the desktop. Now, I'm not sure if you see this because this is my zoom overlay here. I have a gegenlicht yellow icon here, so I can hover that, and it says press escape to copy to clipboard. So I press escape whenever I have my color found on the desktop, and then I just have that in the clipboard. So if I have a color IO box here, I can paste in that color. Really simple thing. So down here I have the zoom icon. I press escape, paste it in here. So instead of making a screenshot, going to Photoshop, using the pipette there and copying the values over, here is now a little tool that you can use, and you can toggle it on and off by pressing Alt P once you have installed it. Now let's have a look at the other extension that was called install DL spout monitor HDE. Again, takes a while to install. The idea of a spout monitor is that it's just a little tool that shows you all the active spout channels on your system. We're seeing it's currently being picked up, so we wait a while. Meanwhile, I start some spout centers. I don't have any fancy tools here, so I'm just using the spout demos here. I can run multiples. You see they automatically get different names. And let's wait for this loading bar to finish. And then the idea is that these come from different applications. I go here, say extensions, spout monitor. I get a window that just shows me the active spout channels. And then, of course, I cannot do anything with that here other than viewing it. I add another one, and you see the thing updates live. Also, if I resize something and it doesn't update, then I have to click it once to update, because this is a limitation of spout. It doesn't broadcast its changes usually. Okay, so that's Alt S for the spout monitor. And I'm closing this again just to show you the third one, which was Tuyo HDE. So these are, Tuyo is this tangible user interface object protocol for sending multi-touch data over the network, basically. And if you have a situation where you are creating such an app, either you need to create an app that sends data to somewhere else, or you're creating an app that receives to your data, no? Then oftentimes you want to just make sure that the basic to your communication is already going before you try to fiddle around in your patch and see where the problem is. Just make sure that there is some data coming in, and for this we have the Tuyo simulator and monitor. So first I will start the simulator. The simulator would be used if you are in the process of creating a Tuyo application where you would send Tuyo data to somewhere else. So this is assuming that you already have somewhere a client like that would receive Tuyo data, and you just want to quickly be able to test communication with that client. So here you can have some objects in, you can rotate them and move them around. And this is even multi-touch ready. And it does also finger tracking, so you can have multiple fingers moving around or objects moving around. And then you have the other, on the other end, you would have a device receiving Tuyo data. In this case, Tuyo monitor is just connected to the simulator, just to demo the connection. And here you see they update nicely, and also when you send fingers, you get the tracking data across visualized. So like this, you can think of many more monitors. Think of a OSC monitor, or a UDP monitor, serial monitor, anything that goes in and out could be monitored here. Okay, so that's the general idea of extensions. We have actually one more extension, the biggest one. The reason why we even built this feature for is the help browser. So when you press F1, the help browser is also just a patch, really, that is opening, just as any other extension. Only it shows up here in the menu and not here, because it's more an integral part of the editor. But it's exactly the same system that we are using. And finally, I want to briefly show you how you can create your own extensions. So we have this feature here where we can go to the menu and say just new extension. And then I would just give it a name, demo extension. So this is just a normal VL document, right? I save it now in my Gamma preview folder. And that's it, basically. That's the extension is now there and it's already running. You see, you can give it a name. It's called my extension by default. You can give it a shortcut. So now it's already registered under Alt-J. If I press Alt-J, the extension opens. And here is the actual implementation of this very simple extension. It's just, it's showing a skier window with a text in it. No? The text is here. So this is running live while you're developing the extension. Now you can come up with anything here, and you can always trigger turning it on and off. Now there is one special thing about this. You have come to learn that the idea is that we can restart programs with F8, F5, right? But these extensions, once they are picked up by the system, they are not running in that loop. So that's this new thing that the help browser, for example, it will not stop when you press F8, right? This is this main thing about it, about all the extensions, that they are independent of the actual programs that you build, if you're not currently building an extension. But so, since this is the case, you still need another way of restarting the extensions. And this is the last entry here that we haven't talked about. It's called restart all. So there's just one shortcut, Shift F9, while you're debugging extensions, or if any extension has any problems, you press Shift F9 and it will restart all of them. If you want to learn more about creating extensions, this is where we have documented it under extending vvv, creating extensions. There are a couple of things you can know, and it's all documented here. And I think this would conclude my little demo on extensions. Maybe a question to everyone: what extensions would you be interested in? Does anyone have a special need for any extension or idea of what we could add here? That would be my question.
Question was to the round?
Yes. To the internet.
To the internet. So like one thing to just for myself, if I get it correct. So basically these extensions are small tools or customized tools that they are running not with the same basically, if I can say, it's the same thread as your whole v4 is running. So you have them like basically like the Node browser or like the mouse key visualizer as we had before as well.
Yep.
Okay.
They're really more part of the editor than part of the program.
The program that you are writing, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My first thought is the inspector. Can we make an inspector?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That's also one of the reasons that we made it now, not only like for an internal tool.
And perhaps now, like a timeline would be another.
Nice.
Interesting. That is very cool. Any other? I think we will get back to this. And guys, you don't need to you don't need to ask your question right away. But of course, you can always at any other time and any other given time until we are having this call, you can ask this question. We can get back to this. One thing that, since Joreg showed the great book, the gray book at some point in his presentation, this gray book thingy is getting updated. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. There are new content there. There are new categories there, and there are a lot of goodies there. I would highly recommend you to go and check that. Anything from your side for now, Joreg?
No.
We will get back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much
for listening.
Okay. I would ask after Joreg, I would ask Randall, did you find your Randall? Are you still in your hard drive or you are with us?
I am with you, and I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Finding something very quickly, but yeah.
But no rush. If you want more time, of course we can all look at you to make you more uncomfortable.
Give me 1 second just to find this one email. But yeah, let's get to it. So
in the meantime, I would say hi, Andres. Happy to have you here.
All right, I am ready. So let me share my screen.
Yes, please.
Here we go. All right, so what am I gonna show you today? The thing is, and I imagine some of you will relate to this. Of course, we make all these beautiful visual, sonoric, interactive things and deploy them in different spaces in the world. But a big part of it from the developer side is monitoring these things, giving them maintenance, figuring out when there's an error, why it happened. A lot of the times, these machines are in different parts of the world where we are, so it's not easy to get access to them. clients tend to be quite bad at reporting errors. They will just say something like, oh, it crashed somewhere around 4 yesterday, and you really have no idea. Was it the Kinect? Was it the audio? Was it the network? Was it, So at MLF, we were dealing with this over and over again, and then we had this idea, well, what about adding some monitoring and logging features to our installation so we can get in the event of a crash or malfunction, we can remote into these machines and see some sort of logs and information about what was actually going on at the time. And also, how about whenever there's a crash, we get an email from the server telling us a bit more information. And it felt like it was a meaningful thing to look into. So we started developing those things. And what I'm going to show you is a bit of the work in progress about that. So the first
Randall,
feature.
sorry,
Yes.
may I kindly ask you to make your document a bit bigger and zoom into your patch?
Impossible. Is that better?
Thank you. Yes, much better.
All right. So this first bit, this is going to be a bit on the technical maintenance side, so don't expect any flashy graphics or anything fun like that. But all right, I'm gonna bring this over here. Let me just, yes, and yes. So first of all, we have this logging feature. Logging, as you know it, writing some stuff to a file, given a particular event. It's a fairly standard thing to do. One of the big libraries out there for .NET is called nlog. And so we went ahead and wrapped up nlog. I'm just gonna delete this test things that I had here. And so what you end up here is you have a vl.nlog type library that exposes at the moment these 4 essential nodes that give you 4 different levels of logging detail, and they can be triggered by a Boolean condition. You can also give each logger a specific name, and that, so let's just do that here for the effect of the example. Paired to this, of course, you get a DLL and a VL file that could be potentially wrapped in a NuGet in the near future. Part of that is this configuration file. This is a general nlog configuration file, so there's nothing custom to it. Nlog has all sorts of features, things like log into console files and debug views in different levels of specificity, archiving files automatically, and things like this. I'm just showing this briefly to show you what's going on here. But the important bit here is I'm writing my logs files to update the vvvv my log file, which is the file I have open right here. So now, if I bang this info, you can see that I get a new message from logger 0, which is the name of this one logger. The type of message level is info, as you can see here, and my text, which is what I typed here, makes it into the message. I also get a nice timestamp and the thread ID and some other stuff in there that's useful to know where the logging is coming from. So I'm just going to fire a few of these up, and you can see that they come in. So that's kind of the first layer. You can have these nodes all over your application, given significant names so that you know that I'm inside this particular module or this other document or whatever. They can all write to the same file or different files, depending on what you need. They can even write out to the log window here as well. I don't know if we're going to see anything, but why not try it live? Yeah, there we go. So you can also get it there. In this configuration file, you could tell it, oh, well, on my console window, which is this one, I only want things info and up, but on the file, I want every single message, for example. So you can have different outputs with different level of message specificity, which, can be useful as well. And then that's that. So you can have an updated log of what your machine is doing, like my system is online, the second server connected, the audio kicked in, the Kinect is getting data, I don't know, whatever you need to log in different stages in your application, you can do it here. Then there was this other idea. Well, yeah, logging is nice, but logging is I don't know where my application is going to crash most of the time, right? It's not like I can detect it. And oftentimes in our world, crashes in a text way are not as meaningful as looking at a patch that has red nodes in it, or looking at a render that has some glitch in it or something. So we decided, well, screenshots will also be useful, you know, getting a not only a text file with logs that I can look at, but also individual screenshots of maybe the patch or maybe the render or maybe both, that I can look at around the time of a crash, so that I can know what state the patches and the renderers were in when whatever happened. So I implemented these ones. Right now I have 2 displays connected to this machine. So we have one node that gives you the names of the different displays recognized by the system. And then I'm telling them where I want my screenshots to be stored. And I have a few convenience nodes. So I think my screenshot directory is this one. Just gonna delete this. And you'll see I can do save screenshots for all screens. So I have 2 screens. So it's actively saving these 2 things. And you can see here, that's my first screen. That's my second screen. You can control things like the format, how often it happens. You can also do screenshots on one specific machine. So that's what one specific display, so that's what this node is about. So you can know what the names need to be. And I can say, well, I actually want screenshots only of my first display. And then you'll see that I get a screenshot only of my first display. So the way we implemented this into production was we are taking screenshots, I think it's every 2.5 seconds of both like the patch and the render output. But you know, quickly you will end up with a hard drive full of screenshots, and that's not very useful. So I needed a file rollover mechanism that I can point at a specific directory, give it a file mask, tell it if I wanted to move the files to the recycle bin or delete them straight up, and how long is the last file that should stay alive, that should not get deleted. I can tell it how many days, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds into the past I want to go before I delete things. And now if I, for example, just add an LFO to this and say I want a screenshot every 2 seconds, and I connect this here, you'll start seeing this thing getting a lot of screenshots quite quickly. But I can also connect that to this guy that's saying, well, I want anything older than 30 seconds to get deleted. And you will start seeing now that even though new files are coming in, the older files are being deleted also. So I can keep the amount of files I'm dealing with in a manageable sort of size. Maybe this is too long. See? So there you go. Anything older than 10 seconds is getting continuously deleted. So that's a file rollover mechanism. You can also use it for other types of files and whatever, just to keep something clean. And I had a nice example application that combines all these things also with the vl.net.email nodes that are out there as a NuGet now. And I don't have the patch right now, but you can combine this with also an emailing nodes, and then you can do things like this. So this is an actual email error report that we got on MLF from one of the machines we have running at the next museum in Amsterdam. And you can see this is HTML. It's, not that it matters, but it's, what do you call it? Reactive or whatever, it's proper HTML. I get, the date, the name of the place where I'm working, the venue, who is responsible for the machine, the time where this email was sent, which of the multiple machines we have there generated this particular email, a bit of information. So in this case, we're taking screenshots every 1 second for the last 5 seconds of execution. they're attached to the file, so I can see what my patch was looking like before it crashed, you know. And I also have the log file that's associated with this. I think this should do with this application attached to the email, and I can see the log file for the full day, what was going on when, you know, when was the error triggered, what was the issue, and you know, it's a very nice active way to get information about running installations that are deployed remotely without having to proactively monitor them. And you know, like you can oftentimes tell your client, oh, so you had a crash yesterday and they didn't even know about it, which, you know, makes you look professional and good. So yeah, that's kind of my demo. I know it wasn't super exciting, but in terms of maintenance, I think it's very useful to have, especially when you're deploying things remotely. And
I think it's very neat. Thank you so much for sharing this. That's just very clean. I'm jealous in a positive way, because it's just such a nice tool. I'm very happy that this does exist.
Cool. Expect it as a nougat in the near future. I'm getting around cleaning it up and getting it ready, but it will be released at some point in the near future.
Very nice of you. Looking very much forward to that.
All right.
Nice. Thank you. Very, very clean. I think you saw that you got a round of applause from the people and their pictures. Yeah, thanks for sharing this. I'm looking forward to see it as a nugget, as always, as all the other good stuff that you always push. That will be included in near future. In the meantime, I would like to look into the someone says pretty cool. Johannes says, okay, I think these are the things that it relates to what Joreg presented. So I think things are coming with a delay. I think, yeah, that should be this. Johannes asked, is this possible to edit something, or for example, network IP connections, whatever, and prompt it to VL? I think it's related to the extensions, Joreg. That's a question for you, perhaps, on the YouTube comments.
Yeah, I read it for 5 times now, and I'm not sure I understand what
something.
The idea is.
Is it something like a CMD arguments, I guess? Yeah. And Vladimir, I think Vladimir has some questions to Nathan. I hope Nathan will read these comments and get back, and he will get back to you, Vladimir. If I see Nathan here, I will definitely ask these questions. Otherwise, I think you should wait for himself. Thanks again, Randall. In the meantime, I would say, yeah, okay, that's the time. I see Kristen. Hello, welcome, Kristen. How's it going? Good to see you.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, sorry for not joining earlier. I had you on YouTube, but my little daughter was still awake, so.
All good. Yeah. Good to have you here. And also, I see that Andres is also with us. I want to ask him that if he's going to show us something.
No, not today.
Today.
I just want to say hi.
Okay, for sure. Cool. Good to have you here. Then I would just, I think I would like to ask Matthias if he is ready to show us this fancy thing that he made. Let's. Okay, I give the stage to you. Tell us what you have done and how long did it take you to make such a thing, and how long it's been that you're working with V4.
Okay.
All yours.
Let's make sure that this is up and running, and then I can also share my screen. Yeah, maybe I should mention that I started with V4 in October, and my first 3D patch I did with the tutorial from Joreg was 2 weeks ago. And then I got the assignment from Amir that we should make rotating circles or spheres actually, and make a small solar system. And then I decided to why not to make a scale solar system of our real universe around us. Can you see?
Yes, I can see that.
Good. So basically all we have here are rotating spheres. And the thing is that they have the exact sizes of the actual planets in our solar system. And also the distances are the real ones, but they add a ratio. Of course, if you would have the actual distances, it would look more like this, and make it a bit smaller, and this a bit higher. But then we wouldn't see anything. So I decided to make it all a bit bigger. So it's actually visible and understandable. The background is a picture from NASA. It's also the Milky Way we see from Earth. And after I got the first planets, I started to include the moons of them and also the inclination. It's probably hard to see, but for example, Mercury has an inclination of 7 degrees, which is one of the highest ones. And inclination is always measured from the line between Sun and Earth, and everything that is higher or lower than that is the inclination then, and all of the planets are for some reason higher than the line between Earth and Sun. Here we see Jupiter. It has 4 moons, and then a bit further outside there is Saturn with his biggest moon, that's Titan. Saturn has, I think, something like 85 moons, but I decided to only show the biggest one, as the other ones are so small that they wouldn't be visible. And there should also be Neptune and Uranus. Yeah, there. I'm not sure if you can see it online, but back there, there's a tiny planet. And on the other side, you see Neptune. The newest change I made was the point light in the middle of the sun. Before I had directional lights, and now we also see an imitation of the sunlight and the shadows it cast. Yeah, I think that's it so far. A very simple thing, nothing impressive, but I will continue to work on it. And I have a huge to-do list with updates and new ideas how to improve it.
And that is basically all in a stride, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is really cool. That is, yeah, I do really like it, especially with all these details that I just saw. How do you call it when this, like, I forgot the word, when there's one planet is blocking the other planets from the sun, you see the shadow on the other side. I just saw no, I just saw another one actually. This is quite fast happening in your solar system, but it's really nice. I really appreciate all this effort and details that you spend, and actually the proportional distances and sizes that you are basically building there. I think you said that you want to do maybe later in one of the updates that you can actually type the name of one of the, like any of the planets, and then the camera will be locked on that.
Yeah, that's
planet. Yeah.
one thing. And I also would like to have some more interactive features so that I can maybe click on the planets and then it would show a name and zoom in, or something like that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for sharing this with us. And I think it's really nice. I mean, next to always all the meetups I really like about it, next to all this, I don't know, like a lot of like backends, or I don't know, like this hardcore programming and stuff, we always see some actual interesting applications that they are being built as well. I really appreciate it, Matthias. Thank you. Any question from the internet, as Joreg says?
Yes, I want to say, first of all, Matthias is amazing. And as it's always like this example that you start with, I thought if I would show that in a beginner course and then tell them they should make a solar system. Until now it was like a starting exercise, but now it's like, it's crazy. I don't know if I would have to show them, even though it's intimidating. And I had a question. Is it also like the position where they are? Is it also live?
Yes.
Wow. How did you get that in?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. The distances and also the rotation speed is real, so to say. And then
Okay, no, how did you get the data in where the planets are right now?
No, it's not in that sense live. It's
okay.
Just a replay at the same speed.
Oh, okay.
It will be with a factor. I can actually also speed it up if I want, or make it a bit slower.
I think maybe we should make a black hole as well over there. Now we know how it looks like.
An attractor that sucks everything.
Okay, cool.
Can I have a question? Quickly.
Yes, please.
By the way, can you show the patch so that you made like a single node for each planet? It's like, it's very clear what's going on in the patch. So it's kind of nice to see.
Sun here, and then I have a node for every planet, and inside this I enter the size and the speed and stuff, for which I made a planet node that generates a generic planet, so to say. And I also have this orbit node that helps me to rotate them at the right speed and distance.
Right. So it's like a couple of behaviors that make up a single planet, and you're reusing those across all of the planets.
Yes.
That's really nice. By the way, I did a little bit of Googling, and there's also databases for star positions. Like I found some Astronexus thing. So I guess if you wanted to take this to the next level, then you could actually have also particles for all the stars. So when you're moving around, you see those also moving around. That could be very nice. But like this, like, yeah, I think this is a really nice project for people starting out, and can be made into a really nice tutorial or something. Like it's one of the like things that maybe kids build in schools, like a little solar system model. And
I think actually Node browser in Stride comes with a help hash called solar system, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Matthias, can you go to the Learn tab in the help browser and type Solar there?
Yes.
Yeah, there's an example transformation solar system.
Oh,
Actually, okay. I mean, we don't need to compare things right now, but that is good. Actually, I have a
solar system in the galaxy.
I have one patch called Solar System in the files for the workshops. When I started learning vvvv beta, Florian Eggerman, if you're watching this video, I have this patch from you. That's an example of Solar System. It's a 2-dimensional solar system, and maybe one day I would like to put these two together. That's how things has changed. Elias says he likes and subscribes. I don't know, maybe to the solar system or wherever. But that's Elias.
I would like to compliment you on the cleanness and the modularity in the design of the, not only how it looks, but also how it was thought about. I think for the short time you say you've been exposed to this is a work of art, basically. Yeah, well done.
Oh, thank you.
Plus
That's
one.
nice.
Keep up with the good work, Matthias. We have to move on. We have
Yes.
we have a few more people, and again, thanks for sharing. I say that on behalf of the community, we would like to see you more often here. Okay, let us move on, and I would like to ask Sebescudie, actually. I think we have seen enough visually appealing things. Let's get some other stuff that yeah, I think you're muted.
Am I?
Now it's working. Cool. Before you start, I would like to shortly ask Christian if he is going to show us something.
Yeah, so basically what I could show is we did a project for Riffic Anadol at Koenig's Galerie, projection mapping together with the vvvv group.
Yeah,
and this might be a good situation, like to show the potential of VL and Fuse, like interaction, like also on a bigger scale.
Yeah. So we get back to you, Kirsten. Before that, I would like to ask Seb to show us what has he been up for.
So just before showing you the Spotify thing, I wanted to continue on Joreg's presentation about the editor extensions to briefly show you something I've been working on, but that I'm not really happy with. It's basically a code editor extension, so nothing fancy, just a cool way to visualize code. So maybe I can share my screen. And I had the need to do that because recently I've been doing lots of projects that involve web requests. And sometimes when you make a web request, you get a very long answer with be it XML or JSON, and it's really hard to see with IO boxes. You have to copy and paste it, open a text editor, So pretty boring. So I tried to do something for that. So let me just paste some random XML that I got from the internet. And if I press Control T, I think, yep, it brings this text editor extensions. And as soon as you select an IO box, its content is dumped inside, and you get some syntax highlighting with it. In our case, it's XML here. It doesn't have JSON, and yeah, I mean, this is why I'm not really happy with that, because it's using some Windows Form components, and it's really not flexible, and it's feels like reinventing the wheel, because Sublime Text does this pretty well. So currently I'm looking for ways to send text to Sublime from v4, and that would be the version that would be published, but this one is just a test, but it can still be helpful sometime when you're working with web requests. So yeah, that was just my small extension. And now about the Spotify thing. So I'm just going to show you here. The nugget is already available. And basically, I started wrapping this library, this .NET library, which is very well documented and works very well to remote control Spotify. There are a bunch of help patches that tell you how to get an access token. And I had no idea how to do this, so I documented everything in the help patch. So if you want to get a Spotify secret token, you got to use this patch. And for now, the only thing it does is playback control. So you get this very basic playback control node that allows you to play, pause, change the volume, etc. And you can also retrieve information about the current track that you're listening. And the reason I did this plugin is because I wanted to make my own application to do blind tests, because I like to do blind tests. And I was sick of writing, like when you keep scores in a blind test, you write those on a piece of paper, but you lose it, so it was boring. So I thought, okay, maybe V4 can help us. And so I made this small program that I can show you. So this is
what is a blind test?
A blind test, like when you play a track and the audience has to guess the track, and those who win get something to drink.
I see. Okay, cool.
Just like that. And so, yeah, I wanted to make my own application to handle those blind tests. And so you get this user interface when you can add all the teams that play. So you could have team A and team B, for instance. And why I wanted Spotify is because I'm playing my tracks, the tracks that people have to guess. I'm playing those on Spotify, but I wanted to get to display the solution when a team wins. You want to click quickly, show the artist and etc. of the track that was playing. So for that, I made this little plugin that allows you to log into Spotify. So if you click Spotify login here, you get this login window that pops, and you type your username. And I got my password, oops, here. I can't remember, yeah. And now I'm logged in Spotify. So if I close this window, for some reason it doesn't display it, but let me do it again. Okay, now I should be logged in. And indeed, now the app says logged in as Sebescudie. And I can, create new teams, etc., give them scores. When a team gets a point, there's something written here. By the way, this is meant to be displayed for the audience, and I get a small preview here. And so, yeah, let's say I'm playing, I don't know, this track, for instance. When I want to show the solution, I just click here, and it will query the Spotify API for what I'm currently playing and just display a nice visualization of the currently playing track. And basically that's it. And I haven't implemented controls because, yeah, for the purpose of this app, it makes more sense to control from the Spotify app itself. But yeah, that's the idea. And I think this might get released at some point. But yeah, for now, it's just a personal tool that I'm using for blind tests.
Yeah, actually, before this, shall I say that? But we tried it before. Yeah. So before the before the meetup started, with Seb, we made like we don't even know how this thing called. We just like very quick looked it up on internet how to make a session that you can listen to Spotify with different people. And then he was we were like having a live session, and he was controlling my Spotify through his V4, and we were listening to music, which was fun. Yeah, and it was just like a proof of concept, very quick. I don't know, like I guess you can invite, as I saw, you can invite up to I don't know how many people.
It's five,
so like,
5 people, I think.
Yeah, like basically he can make a playlist, and from his V4, and any of you can basically join to this playlist, and he can play music for you. So basically, maybe you can even play your game like this blind test like remotely.
vvvv radio.
vvvvv radio.
Try that sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just trying, like,
yeah, like Joreg also showed this. No, he was this. It was this the NDI, if I'm not mistaken. So you can basically VJ, and play music and everything through V4 with people around the world. Not the shared texture, but the element. I think we don't have the your sound on because it's muted. On your Spotify is muted.
It's not about the sound. It's just to show that I can, like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If you look at this, I can volume as well. I could like skip to the next track, skip to the previous track, pause the playback, resume playback, etc. So for now, it's limited. I mean, the API is huge. It has many things to offer, but I just implemented the things I needed for now, and maybe other things will follow. But yeah, for now, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Can
that's it
somebody
for me.
help me? What was this thing that we told Sebescudie? Sebescudie tools, Sebescudies. What was that? You got a nickname, I think, in the two meetup ago for all these tiny things that you create. Thank you very much for sharing this. Any question from the internet?
Yes, I would just say awesome job. I mean, this seems like a little game, but I think it states out like the potential of VL, like how easy it is to get libraries in, and how far you could really use it for prototyping. And I think in that terms, it could be also feasible. You know, we all know those companies have like big research groups who do prototyping all day long. And I think that really shows the potential here of using the tool to also do stuff like this, using the APIs and then creating interfaces and new ways to interact, which maybe are a bit sketchy and not fully designed, but they are working, yeah. And you can check stuff. And I think in that sense, it's pretty valuable, like the exploration that Zeb is doing. And I also like the text editor, of course. I want to have this one for Fuse shader debugging. I was already nagging the VV devs, and now you got it on your list. Awesome.
Yeah, this is really cool. One thing that I always, I have it in my basically notes always when I want to, if I want to look into a new library to wrap it or into a new nugget, I think one of the sources I always look into is Sebescudie's contributions, because he has this very nice way of basically making like a sort of a help patch or explanation and how this nugget works. So basically, when I put these two texts next to each other, like a v4 patch and the nugget itself next to each other, but just looking into these sentences that, as you see, like he also shared this tiny Spotify thing. Okay, this is the text and this is how it's done. This is how it works. I think it's like a very nice guide that I always use a lot when it's my turn to look into something for myself. And I really appreciate that, Seb, that you are sharing this and putting this effort to make everything clean. Speaking about cleanness, Andres said about, Andres wrote this comment on Zoom chat about Matthias's, I think about the Matthias solar system, that 10 years using vvvv, and I have never done a patch so clean. I think that's another, that is another compliment to you. And he also loves the UI with Elementor style. I guess it's Sebescudie for your blind test Elementor UI. Thank you very much for sharing this. Keep this coming, Seb. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure it's the same for everybody else. Is there any question so far for Seb? Okay, Iris, welcome. I just saw you that you also joined the chat. Hi, welcome. Tell us very quick who you are. Are you going to show us something? Where are you? What are you doing? And you're mute. Okay, now.
Hello, I'm Iris. I'm from Amsterdam, but I'm joining from Leipzig. And I actually, maybe I'm not really, it's not the vibe. I just started VV like 1 week ago, and I when downloading it, I saw on the website that there was a meetup, but I'm not showing anything. But it really interesting to see from Sebastian. Is it like all the possibilities? I'm not really there yet, but it's very nice.
Thank you very much for joining the call. I'm really happy to see you here. And it's not always about showing something. Next time it's your turn, but it's very good to be with us. Thank you very much for joining, and congratulations. Welcome to the community. Cool. Okay, I need to move on. Before giving the stage to Chris, I would like to ask Brian, because as you may notice, the last month, November, there is this thing called Nodevember, like all these programming, let's say, like all the eye candies that you can create with all those programs that they are visual-based programming. I think they're visual-based, if I'm not mistaken, or they're node-based, let's say. They have this hashtag, or they're basically this encouragement of creating visuals using the hashtag Nodevember. And then there were a few categories starting from the, I don't know, like shapes, like simple shapes. I think 3-sided, 4-sided, 5-sided, 6-sided, and then colors, and then tiny, small, medium, big, and huge. I saw that many of us from the community, specifically those that they got their hands on Fuse, they were sharing many things. There was one figure who had something for every category. Ladies and gentlemen, gegenlicht.
Hey, yeah, so I just wanted to share my experiences from November or Nodevember, and yeah, just show you some patches I created, and yeah, maybe just a review on the experience itself. So, okay, so if anyone didn't really follow the Nodevember thing, yeah, I think it's mostly surrounding the Blender community and Substance and Houdini. So all nodes-based 3D tools. And there's also a lot of touch designer people involved, I think, posting. And yeah, these were the topics basically. The first week's, yeah, form or shapes, then next week colors, and then scale. And I will just show, yeah, just as an overview, whoop. This is the Instagram feed of the hashtag, and it's pretty sweet. There's just loads of variation on stuff. So you have classic 3D stuff and loads of Houdini and Substance stuff. And yeah, it's pretty impressive and really interesting way to spend the winter time, I guess. And yeah, I'll just show you an overview what I've created. Yeah, these are the shape ones. And yeah, I've tried to pick examples I wanted to test out, or patches I had just lying around, never really done anything with. So yeah, I'm going to show a few of these. If you want me to click through them, I can, but it's
yes, please
yes?
click through them.
Okay, I guess it's not. It won't take a lot of time. So this is 3-sided, done in Fuse, science distance field, and yeah, this one I'm going to show you because I think it's technically interesting. It's basically the same way you would do virtual production, so maybe it's interesting for a few people. But it's basically like a help patch gallery in space. So the inside there is not really created by myself. So, and this is the 5-sided challenge, also an SDF with rotation. Yeah, so this is something I have created in beta before with signed distance field for some projects, and just wanted to check out if it still works, and it's much nicer than before. So I'm really satisfied. This is round. This was actually the most fun to do because I had no idea what I was doing, and it just turned out nice. Yeah. Oh, and for this one, I wanted to. I actually already used it in the one before, but I wanted to create this iridescent shader for this rainbow effect, and it's also completely patched in Fuse. So now we're getting to the colors. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to create some dropping into water effects, and yeah, it took me some time, but it was a lot of fun. This is green. This is the one where I tried Kairos for the first time, the timeline tool. And I can show you this patch if you want to. It's yeah, because it's nice to have a look at Kairos, I guess. It was really nice to use. And I was really surprised how well it works, because it's yeah, just haven't tried it yet. It's really nice. This one also, and yeah, now we're in the middle of November, and I kind of just started this challenge just by, having a laugh. And then it started to dawn on me, damn, this takes up a lot of time. It's it's kind of exhausting. And this is a very nice demo. And I've posted the GitHub repo in the description from Turinus. It's the VL Boyd's GPU library, and it's really, really nice. But I just needed something, and this immediately came to mind because, fish, blue. Yeah, this was a lighting test with light shafts, and these are just like signed distance field worms creeping through the darkness. Yeah, this is a weird one because it's inverted lighting for white. And now the scale stuff is happening, and this one I might explain a bit. Yeah, because I'm working on a project, and because I was kind of investing a lot of time into this and always trying to figure out, okay, how can I use this stuff? And I'm working on a project with the Deutsche Museum Bonn and physics department of the University of Bonn on visualizing large hadron collisions, like particle collisions. And what does it look like when they actually collide? So I just figured, try something. Yep, and at some points you kind of get off topic. So this is the topic small, and I don't know. This is medium, but it's more like, balance, I guess. So this one was really fun to do. Yeah, and this one is large, but yeah, I use it as a test to have a look if I can color SDF individually. And this is huge, which also could be really small if you think about it, but it could be both. And yeah, these are are all of my posts, and I can show you some of the patches if you want. And
yeah, before while you are going, before you start showing the patches, I need to say that if anybody else wants to see other stuff, like whatever was created with Fuse during this, with vvvv and Fuse during this challenge of Nodevember, I think the hashtags, if I'm not mistaken, was Nodevember 2021. Yeah. And then basically you could see things like made with Fuse and made with VL and made with vvvv gamma and so on. So you can see like other stuff as well. Brian, may I ask you to pick one or two of these patches? But technically, I want to see all of them. And okay, I remember there was one conversation on the Fuse chat on Elements that we decided or we wished for having all the patches that was created with Fuse for Nodevember being in a pack and being sort of released. So because it's a very, very nice learning opportunity. So maybe if you could show one or two of them, so we have enough time to go to talk to Chris as well, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, sure. But you have to remember you're learning cooking from a butcher. So I will just whoop. Okay, this is the virtual scene one. And just to in 1 second show you how nice Fuse and Gamma really is, you can just open them all together and it really doesn't matter, which I think is awesome. But now I have to find the window again. Here it is. So yeah, this patch is really interesting. Because I just wanted to test this because as you guys may have experienced, like there's lots of virtual production jobs around. And this is basically what you can use to create a virtual environment, because yeah, this could be a screen, or any side of the box could be a real screen in a studio, and you could map it with a Vive tracker or something to match the camera. And yeah, basically it's 4 individual scenes. And if I open one of them, the only spectacular thing happening is this look at rect camera and scene texture, which renders it at this resolution, like the same scale as the box. And then yeah, that's basically all the magic there is. And yeah, so here in this view, you can see the individual textures being rendered. I've implemented something so it won't render if it's not visible, but it really doesn't matter. The performance is fine anyway. Yeah, and yeah, this one was really fun. And I will just close it. And I guess the red one is also interesting, I think. Yep, that's this one. Yeah, because one thing I've noticed, and if anyone wants to take such a challenge, the best thing is to every time you create a patch, just add all the stuff you used and you might be using again, and put it in a library document, because you keep on doing the same stuff. So most of the animations are always done like you have some toggle going by a timer, and then a filter, and that's it, and a tweener. And you do this like lots of times. So, or your post effects or anything basically to speed things up. Yeah, but the nice thing here is, yeah, there's an SDF separating 2 emitters, one on the bottom, one on the top, and then there's this part here, where we change the velocity of the particles surrounding the sphere, and enable and disable the emitter. So it's sort of gets this splash effect and bouncy effect. And yeah, this one was really fun. And yeah, and this one is really interesting to me, because in this patch, and now and I have to admit, like I've said the patches will look horrible. I actually cleaned them up today, because they looked really terrible. So yeah, but this one still looks kind of weird, because there's one part in Fuse that you cannot really use a for each loop for. So I just brute forced it for this material blend. And this looks very basic, but each color you see here is a separate material, which is very awesome if you think about using like 15 complex materials together. It's pretty awesome. So all that stuff happens here. And yeah, because the GPU in doesn't work for now in a for each loop, it's just cons, and I think this looks really nice actually. And yeah, but at this point I was almost done with this, and invested. It would be much nicer if the challenge would be during summer, because usually during summer there's not so many projects going on, for me at least. So, but it was kind of stressful, but a lot of fun as well. So I tried to figure out, okay, can I use anything of this for a project, and I actually found a use case for these SDF blend stuff, and I'm just gonna quickly explain it because the moral of the story for anyone is, or could be, sometimes you don't even know what's playing around with nodes is good for, or just taking a few hours playing around, creating something that has actually no meaning, but you know, in the end, yeah, it's fits for something else you don't even know about. So, okay. Yeah, so I'm, as I've mentioned, I'm working on this Hadron Collider project. Oop, I have to move this Zoom stuff. And where can I? Here. Okay. Yeah. So the topic is particle collision, hadron collision collider and stuff. So I've asked them to send me some sketches of the steps of the particles colliding so I can try to create animations for it, because the animations they've sent me, yeah, look like animated versions of these style frames. And generally there's no real concept how this really looks. So you can just do whatever you want, more or less. And then I try to translate this animation with this information like into something you can read like line by line for the animation. So it's just the particle positions. And now I'm working on this project, just prototype stuff. So this is not like any type of final design. It's just to show them how we could create these animations. The nice part is, whoop, does it work? Yeah. Now I have loads of transitions like for these particles. Yeah, because basically when they collide, they are in a quantum state of yeah, multiple infinite outcomes. And so it's hard to imagine what it looks like. But now during November, at least, I've created some options for myself. And yeah, it was really fun.
That looks actually really cool.
Wow. Wow, wow. Really cool.
Great job. My question to myself and also Andres as well. Are any of these amazing patches online?
So as I've mentioned, like the first few days were easy. And then it became more of a task, and yeah. So I started posting the screenshots on Twitter. The first few, I think 5 posts are there. Yeah, but I can post them somewhere, and yeah, maybe include them as example patches to Fuse. I'm not sure, but again, like there's some SDF stuff going on that maybe you shouldn't do, but it works. So I'm just yeah, multiplying stuff by -1 and
okay.
You know?
I think that would be also a question to the Fuse team, that whether they would be also interested to have like a package of whatever was out of the Nodevember, to just make basically like a folder full of, I don't know, examples, like however, maybe just borrowing a style from Sebescudie or like the standard explanation of how the patch might work. Maybe like a few sentences or a paragraph that this part does this part does that. I think that would be very beneficial for the community, especially those who are interested in the Fuse. But of course, it's up on your own time and interest. Because I know that, for example, Kyle himself was also sharing a few things, and a few other people were also sharing. And I think if you just make an initiative that somebody gathers all of them together and then being reviewed by a few other people, that would be interesting in a long term Christmas project.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm totally amazed, and it makes me totally happy, like to see these things happening. I mean, really, I mean, this is what we make it for, you know, to create. And lot of the ideas are not something that I envision, you know, and to see like people create their own visions on the stuff that we have built. And that also includes like the VL devs, of course, like building this nice tool chains. Yeah, and I think today, not only with Gegenlicht, but also the other stuff, we see a lot of potential. Like a lot of this stuff, you know, maybe just touches base, but it's not that easily possible with other tool chains. Yeah, and that really, I think, is a big motivation for all of us to drive this forward. Yeah, and I would love to also look with Brian and maybe other people at their experience on Stride, and maybe like find out like maybe what for now is maybe a bit hacky, you know, how can we like nicely integrate this into the workflows? And I would totally love to get these patches into Fuse and have a nice folder, you know, for like more high level examples where people can study, but also where we can study use cases, right? And see how we can improve the workflow.
Yeah, maybe it might be a good time soon to have like a third community workshop, because as I said before, Fuse has already 2 community workshops plus a presentation that they are online already. Maybe that would be a good time for the third one with a little bit of feedback from the community for whatever was or is available at the moment and people are playing around with. Yeah, maybe if there is Brian, I'm so thankful. I really appreciate this effort that going through all of those things and cleaning them up, making them ready for showcasing them into the meetup. They're beautiful, and I was amazed that every day I was seeing that you are still up to date. You are still doing it during the Nodevember. Great job. Keep up with the good work.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to see. Damn, we didn't see your Animal Crossing, but we don't have time for it though. But maybe we should include that one to the package. Maybe that would be a good chance, because since we are talking about Fuse, giving the stage to Chris, he's going to show us like maybe a little bit of what they have been up to in the last days, especially with the with Reflex exhibition in Berlin. It was in Berlin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
please, stage is yours. And I just noticed that I guess Dominic has some tiny stuff to show us maybe after Chris, if there's a time, and if you're still up for that, domj, to just show us your string editor. String editor, a string picker. What was that?
Just interpolation
Interpolations.
We're gonna template for making NuGets very fast.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Chris. The stage is yours.
Yeah, all right, thanks. So let me share screen first. I hope it works out. It's 4K because it's a lot of patching. I will not get too much in detail. It's more like to state what's possible, right? And like just to maybe start with it, this is a short video. Hope it runs. So this is a projection mapping at the Koenig's Galerie. So we had the possibility to project on this nice tower, like with really nice, powerful projectors. And there was a collaboration with the vvvv group. They've provided the projection mapping and also set up the computers. And I think it was a good effort to do this together. So yeah, just get an idea. It's a pretty big scale. It's like 6 projectors, right? Also pretty high risk. And it's all done with Fuse. And yeah, it's like the second bigger commercial project we did with Fuse. And yeah, I mean, this is, I will not get into details, but this is like the whole application patch, right? Where we kind of create resources, where we have a clock to sync stuff, or also to make recordings out, and have like settings that we share over the complete thing. So we're also thinking about how to structure this, to share textures and things like this. And yeah, we also have a scene player, and like we try to decouple the visuals a bit, like from the sole application logic. And yeah, so if I run it here, it's a bit flickering, not sure that might be because of Zoom, let's see. But we basically have 3 scenes which are switched during the playback. And I can also like look at them here. So what you see here is like this typical Riffic Anadol, gun and optical flow kind of force field texture. And we also use it to have some collision effect here in this kind of scene. And then we have, sorry. Yeah, this box visual, which is now also drive by Fuse. It's like 2 million boxes. That one we had to like adjust a bit to get full performance. So this is basically geometry shader creating the boxes here, which was faster than instancing. So this is something we're looking into with the VV group also to make this available also for instancing and improve the performance there. Maybe here I show a bit around so this is like how the scene patches look. So might maybe scale out a bit. So you see it's a bit more complex behavior. Like, I think one thing that works really out nice if you're taking advantage of it is like operations also to make it more like object oriented. So I really like to create not only process nodes, but do stuff as operations so you can have them all visible in one patch. So basically like every colored thing here is can also be understood as a process node, but like this, you have it all visible and attached in one patch. So this is basically like, for example, the patch for the noise force, or like in here a bit more crazier, the fluid simulation, because there goes a texture in and out. And I think this is a nice way of structuring patches. Yeah, and then this is kind of the main patch where it all comes together, where you have your simulation stage, and then here the renderer, which calculates emission and size and all those kind of things. Yeah, and this kind of looks similar for all the 3 patches. So you see here, and yeah, so that's didn't want to go in too much depth, just underline the possibilities are there. Like, I think definitely VL is there to make those scale of projects. And I think with the last release, we also pushed Fuse in a direction where you can make like full-scale projects with it, right? I mean, maybe not for every use case, but for a lot of use cases, as also Brian's visuals showed, right? So I think it's a good time to pick it up. And we're currently working on the roadmap for the next release of Fuse. So we were pretty busy with project work and had to pick up on that side. But for the next year, we will really have some bigger projects that will allow us to really focus on Fuse development. So we expect a lot of stuff happening there, improvements. We're also looking with the VV group to also improve the patching. Like, we really want to get regions now in so that you can also have like if regions, for loops and stuff like this in vvv. And yeah, this would allow you more. We also plan compute shading on like texture level so that you can also make fluid sims and stuff like this, like the particle patches now. And yeah, I think we're really amazed by the possibilities, like comparing to other tools, because you can put basically everything together, resources, shaders, and are much more fluent on one level. And yeah, I think that really is an advantage over other tools that we see. Yeah, so that's it for today.
Great, thank you very much, Chris. Very inspiring, and it's very nice to see all this these eye candies that we see, like, for example, I don't know, on social media or here and there. Basically it's the same tool that is in our hands right now, more or less, basically, that we could use that. Thank you so much for making that possible. I'm personally looking very much forward to the next updates of Fuse, and if there will be any new presentation, demo, or anything new, I'm very much looking forward to that. Is there any question to Chris? I see that Andres is very curious about the equipment that you were using, or was this question addressed already?
No, I'm quite not confused. I'm quite impressed on how complex the scene is And I really wonder what computer are you using there?
It was a big gaming machine, like with a 3090, like 2 of them, and they were with I'm not sure what the name of this, but it's like the GPUs were synced, so it tried to behave like one GPU. However well that worked, it gave some extra performance. Yeah, and we had like, I think, Matrox cards on it, which made a bit of hassle. Because once you switched the computer off before the projector or whatever, you know, they lost sync and you have to set up everything again. So you had to really know what you were doing. But I think the VV group made a really good job there, like figuring out the best way to play out, use VVV to play it out, all the pixels. And we had some really big texture, which they were then providing for projection mapping. And like the performance was so good that we could really make a high-risk texture, and we really had oversampling, right? So that we could even downsample the texture a bit. And like we have done this on site, like tweaking performance a bit, and we saw that we have still frames left over so that we could use for increase even the resolution a bit more, and was really noticeable the effect on the projection. You know, it was just crisper and sharper, and like you really had the feeling you could kind of touch it. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Really cool. Really cool. Nice.
And maybe
Anders,
just one last thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
To me, it really feels like there's a lot of performance potential, right? With Stride and Fuse and shader programming in general, it really feels good. Also compared to other tools, like I know how Unity behaves. Some stuff it does good, but some stuff you really think, that should be faster, right? And like sometimes we have the same feeling with VL, but it's always good to get in contact with the VV group and we figure out ways, right? And so far, I really have the feeling that we really unleash the potential that is there for really good performance with visuals.
Sounds great. Okay, Andres, I meant curious. Maybe it was a sorry if I if I said the wrong word, but I was also curious to know. Good. Is there any question from the internet to Chris, who is presenting Fuse team right now? If not, that I guess is a not. We go and ask domj to show us what has he been up for.
All right.
Maybe for like a 5 minutes something.
Maybe not even
super
that.
Quick. Wow.
I'll try to make it very, very super quick.
Wow.
So basically, some time ago, I did this string interpolation thing. Basically, string interpolation is like you have a string and then you insert in parts of the string kind of different strings. So it's something that makes composing strings a bit easier than using like pluses. It's something that's very available in most textual languages, also in C# and actually if you dig into the .NET libraries, you get access to it, but it's not exposed in a very nice way in VL as far as I know. So I did this quick prototype. It's in the work in progress forum. That is basically using kind of Python style, just you put braces in a place and then those are the kind of insert points. So let's say I change this into just hello someone, and if this wasn't bugging out, which is something that I still an issue that it's not always updating, but basically it's using dynamic input pins, and when you have a different number of the kind of replacement tokens, then those get updated with the input pins, so you get this very, very clean thing. I had one feedback that these could be named, and then I guess the name could propagate here, and then that way you could reuse them in multiple places. And kind of the logging reminded me of this, because this is something that's very useful for logging strings and kind of when you need to just compose a little string message. So that's one thing, and the second thing is a NuGet template that I did on GitHub that makes it like very, very easy to quick start developing quick start a Git repository for a NuGet. It's like for VL only code without any C#, but basically if you go to this repo, you can just press use this template, put a new name, and you have a Git repo going with like clean kind of boilerplate for a VL NuGet, and that's it. So that was super quick. Now, if I only find the stop share button, and let's see.
Fantastic. But that was actually very quick.
There it is. It went to my other screen.
Thank you so much. That was like a flash. Cool. Thank you very much. Everybody. Wow, that was I think that was such a spectrum from one to the other side. And I thank you very much to every single of you, those who shared, those who were watching. Just to have a review, Joreg was showing us the extensions that they are available from recent release, that you can basically use extension, create your own extension. I think it's been a while I'm talking. Randall showing this beautiful clean logging tool. Thank you for sharing that. Matthias, this solar system is amazing. Keep it going. Looking forward to see more features and functionalities. Sebescudie, thank you for the text editor and a Spotify thingy. I wish a lot of winning in this blind game that you're creating. Brian and his journey, sharing his journey to Nodevember and all this Fuse craziness that he created. Looking forward to see all of them in one place and going through them one by one, including the Animal Crossing shader. Chris, thank you very much for showing that what you are up for, what you're up to, and what are you looking forward to do for the next steps for the release. That was a very nice actually showcase, very clean, this development for Refix project in Berlin, and domj for the text interpreter. Did I miss anything? All the guests that they are here who they have not shown anything, that's next time it's your turn. Thank you very much. And Elias is saying, nice, Dominic, maybe an extension. We have a library plus Git repo in button press. domj, I think that is a call for you. That is on the YouTube comment. Elias is writing about that. In general, thank you very much. It was an honor. It was a great vvvv year for me personally, and I'm sure next year will be even better. With the same speed, we are very good. There will be more learning for sure. Keep sharing things that you are doing. Keep doing all these crazy good things that you are doing. Thank you very much to developers for being very much flexible. It was very nice. I use it just as a just sharing some tiny experiences. In the daily basis, I use a lot the Gamma launcher that Sebescudie developed. And it's very nice that sometimes there is a new machine, or like specifically with the students at the university, we install v4. And then sometimes you see that there is a preview release, and we are going and always say that download, guys, for this, we need to download the latest preview. And they go to the website and they're like, the latest preview was released 2 hours ago. I'm like, well, yeah, that's how it works. And the day after, they just go there. Oh, the latest release was released, I don't know, like 10 minutes ago, you know? And I think this is, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I shake all your hands, and keep this coming. That was for this year. And we will be back next year in January for our regular monthly meetup. If there is any last word from your side, is there?
Yeah, I want to know if there's a hand sign.
Sorry?
What hand sign? Because this, of course, is important, but is there like a quad kind of thing that we can do?
I think we don't have it. Do we have a hand? Yeah, okay. We have the, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that's the fire button. Thank you very much. Well, see you next year, which basically is next month, as we keep it as regular. Thank you to Node Institute. Thank you to V4. Thank you to contributors, and have a lovely night.
Thank you to Amir.
Bye, guys.
That was quite a ride. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Happy New Year's.